And we are recording. Alright, so we should start with introductions. Who wants to go first?
I assume you would, since you know this is your video.
Enter counseling session.
Alright, okay. So obviously, Rihanna, student of counseling. Moving on. Name and what you do.
Taylor, future teacher.
Michaela, student. Tess Clifton, educator.
Benjamin Clifton, student.
Alright, so we are going to go through the same questions we did on our first dry run of this. Who has a question that they would like to answer first?
I'll go ahead. The question is, what would you most like to be remembered for when you are reminiscing about your life in your old age? Since that's coming, I would most like to be remembered for helping other people achieve success, whatever kind of success that is, whether it was financial success or whatever, for helping people achieve what they wanted to achieve.
What item that you don't have already would you most like to own? My credential.
Oh, wow. Your credential.
Alright, give it to me already. Jeez.
I can hear that.
Okay, what's the hardest thing you have ever done? Thus far, passing psychological stats. It wasn't an easy class. I passed it by 1 percentage point. And I'm looking forward to never taking math again.
That's excellent. Ben or Michaela, you got anything?
Okay. If you could choose your age forever, what age would you choose and why? I would choose to be 27. That is the peak of my biological prime. I'd be old enough to drink anywhere without anyone commenting on it, and I wouldn't be old.
I thank you, son. Don't look in my direction.
If you could choose any one person, living or dead, whom would you most want to be like? Does it have to be a real person?
No.
It can be like in a book or a movie.
What would you like to be like?
Do those people count as dead or alive?
We count as
Both.
fictional.
You can't be dead if you weren't alive to begin with.
But they were alive in your head.
Okay.
Probably Murphy from Dresden Files. 'Cause she's awesome.
I can see that.
I could see that too. Oh, that's great. What soothes your spirit when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? Reading. And chocolate.
Okay, I guess I'll go to what's the weirdest thing you have ever eaten? Considering that I really like to eat weird things. Something that I've eaten that most people have not is bulgogi, and it's just a marinated beef dish from Korea, and it's awesome.
Is it cooked chemically and not cooked or?
It's cooked. It's
Oh.
just got a very unique profile of flavors. There's lots of fermented ingredients and
Yay!
accompaniments that go along with it.
Taylor.
What?
Contribute. I want to hear some
know
more.
if we were going in the same order as we were.
No,
we do not have
people
to
are
stay in
jumping.
order.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you have one you want to answer, and kind of wait your turn.
I'm in the classroom. I'm on the other side of the fence now. You can't make me. Are you spring, summer, fall, or winter? Please share why. Well, I don't see myself as the season. I kind of like things out of all of them. I favor the fall more than anything else, though, because I'm not really good with heat. So by the time the summer's over, I'm done being tired and sleepy, and I want to get up and go do things. So, it's also when my birthday is, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Okay, if you woke up tomorrow as an animal, what animal would you choose to be and why? This is actually slightly different than the last time I had this question because it's saying I'm waking up as that animal tomorrow in my room.
Did you watch the size aspect?
So dragon is out.
Why? Why?
Because a 50-foot long lizard does not fit
You
in
could
my
be
room.
a baby dragon.
I am 24 years old. I am not a baby anything.
But okay, well it could hypothetically change where its location was.
So I would be a phoenix because those can teleport.
And set the house on fire.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't be there.
Okay.
So
And you know, like a new house would be okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure phoenix it counts as act of God.
And it's
Act of something.
well, I'm gonna piggyback off of some of these. It says, if you could change one thing about yourself, what change would you make? And Ben was talking about what age he would like to be. I think that the one change I would like to make is to be young again, now that I know what I want to do with my life, and be young again and be able to do some of those things that I'm interested in now.
Good luck explaining that to the government.
Good luck explaining that to you guys, because I'd like to be about Ben's age.
I don't know. It'd be a house of people all in the same age group.
But I'd still be crabby, and I'd still be trying to tell everybody what to do.
Yeah, good luck.
Because I'd be even crabbier. You know, I was crabbier at that age.
Alright. What talent do you have that is not utilized successfully in your workplace? Ben? Shush.
Didn't say anything.
Where to begin?
With one.
My vast repertoire of poisons, my vast repertoire of,
That's about it.
Ben, I will phone you.
School appropriate, please.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
I think you use those there. I think you use your understanding of that kind of stuff. But
Semi.
do you sing there? Are
Sometimes.
you allowed? Okay. What about cooking? Oh, you use it because
I
you
use
cook.
that all the
Yeah.
time.
You cook.
Okay.
This is why you need to choose your questions carefully.
So, obviously, when you chose the question, there was something that came to mind. What was that thing that you don't use at work?
Please remember she's a blonde.
Ben!
Such deep, inviting friendships.
Let's see.
Maybe another question.
Or pick another question.
Yeah. What was the best day of your life and why? The day Lily came home.
Aw.
Because, come on, little tiny ugly red potato looking thing. Turns out it ended up being pretty cute.
Thank you.
Sure.
Moving on. If you had a time machine that would work only once, this is assuming it goes forward and backwards, what point in the future or history would you visit? I would actually visit myself in high school and tell me to get my stuff together. I got way too focused my senior year on things that were going on with friends, things that were going on with family. I didn't listen to deadlines. I didn't focus on what I should have been doing. Even though my grades were good, I would have really liked to have been able to kick myself in the butt and say, get your college applications in, get it done, and get it over with. Don't worry about prom, don't worry about boyfriends, don't worry about best friends, get your stuff done. Worry about you.
I feel like that's partly my fault.
Notice there was no disagreement there. So Taylor.
On a positive note, what aspect of your personality adds the most value to the world? From what I gathered anyway, it would be my easy ability to laugh. I've been in more than one situation where people have commented that my ability to laugh openly without the hesitation of the awkward situation makes other people open to laugh. And so they get over that hump a little easier and then things go better as they go along. So, yeah. Didn't always used to be that way, but I kind of like it.
I think you're also a really superb listener.
Well, that's more of a skill, though, than a personality trait.
You think
True.
so?
I had to work at that one.
Mm.
I used to talk at a mile a minute.
Really?
It did not matter what other people were saying.
Wow, there's something I learned today. Wow.
That should
Excellent.
be obvious. You ever watch her do it? Because you will.
Alright.
You'll see it.
If you had to give up one of your senses, hearing, seeing, feeling, smelling, tasting, which would it be and why? I would say probably my sight, even though I like art, because I'm so familiar with the adaptive tech and Braille, and it would be a really easy transition.
Yeah, not to mention there's all sorts of stuff out there for blind people.
Exactly.
And you live with a guy who was used to living with blind people.
Yep.
I'd like to see you take care of Lily that way, though.
Good luck
It'd be an
catching her.
adventure.
If Ted could do it with him, I could
And
figure
she
it out.
could. She could very well.
How interesting.
All right. If you could be in the movie of your choice, what movie would you choose and what character would you play? Wow.
You got some good questions.
Honestly, these are the only good ones. I would go into the Harry Potter movies and I would play myself because there's all sorts of shit there that needs to be fixed. I mean, really.
You wouldn't be. I thought you would go into the Dresden.
There's no movies.
Yeah.
There was a
There's-
TV series.
There's the TV series. To
Which
me,
was
that's a
horrible
movie.
and a travesty to everything the
And you
book
could fix
represented.
it.
Oh, I
You could fix
couldn't.
it.
The characters aren't there.
You can't fix a broken universe.
Who has the most influence over the choices you eventually made for your life when you were growing up? The initial influence was my parents. The initial influence was my parents, mainly dominated by my stepmother, but she ended up, well, they didn't really have any influence once I got a little older. There was direction, but I was not, I didn't go in the direction they wanted me to. And I don't know if some of their direction and pushing wasn't for me to make a decision of any kind, just so that I would make a decision, even if I didn't stick by it, to make me think. My father initially had a lot, but then he was busy doing other things. So I think it was my parents. But eventually, what ended up being the teaching was my kids.
Okay.
Going and becoming a teacher was based on what you guys brought home, what I saw in the classrooms, and the great respect that I had for the people who helped you, who basically facilitated your acquisition of knowledge.
Alright, so we're almost out of time for the Q&A part of this, so does anybody have one last question that they want to go over? Okay, so for future sessions, we're going to be talking about communication, specifically the communication between students and teachers. Since we have two teachers, we can do it from obviously the teacher's perspective and the student's perspective, since both of you guys are still working on your first degree. And work from there. So think of aspects of communication that you find important, topics that you would like to discuss. We can work them into future sessions. All the next two sessions will talk about communication. So any aspect of communication that you think is important and you would like to include, we can work it into the sessions.
Thank you.
Other than that, we are done.
You don't have to ask any other questions or anything?
Nope.
Nope.